Okay, so Dendro Mesh is built into the plugin now. It's no longer a Grasshopper plugin, it's a command within our own plugin. It'll accept whatever you throw at it, surfaces, meshes, extrusions, whatever you like. All right, so we're going to do a demonstration on this. I just want to discuss first about the settings. All right, so it does a few more things than it used to do, remembering that this is aimed at the customer-facing Rhino. So I'm using the same parameters as the Grasshopper plugin, but I'm using 10, 30 and 25 adaptivity. It does a couple of things when it runs it. It's not just creating the volume. You're now getting a feedback saying, it's going to take this long to complete. It's busy voxelizing, doing whatever it's doing. But at the same time, it's also repairing. So where in it's finding something that's not sealed, it'll close it. So you'll see down the bottom of here, it's capping holes where it can, or it's filling holes where it can. It's attempting to fix as many issues there might be in the original geometry as possible using Rhino tools before passing it to Dendro to voxelize. All right, so usage is very easy. I'm just going to delete this guy over here. So a caveat, if your stuff is already meshed, so for those of you who know what you're doing and you want to mesh first, if this stuff is already meshed, Dendro Mesh is a lot faster. The first part of Dendro Mesh, which is actually meshing up the parts for you, is slow because it's being controlled by me on very, very high settings. Anyhow, for you guys, you just go to click Dendro Mesh. You'll see on the command line saying select your geometry. I've already put in this, faster if you've already meshed yourself. So grab all your geometry, hit enter. The first process 1 of 2, is going through every one of these little parts. There's about 60 or 70 parts in here, making sure it's sealed, it's closed, and then generating a mesh for it. It'll then pass it over to, it'll create a volume and pass it over to Dendro Mesh. And once Dendro Mesh starts, you'll also see the voxelizing process expressed as a percent. And just give that a second to complete. Now remember, I'm doing this on a tiny little laptop and I'm recording at the same time as I'm trying to run this. But on your guys' powerful CAM machines, this should run really fast. When it's done, it will spit out a mesh into the screen, and then you're done. All right, so give it a second to dump the mesh in there, and a little signal up there says finished, and you didn't see that happen, but the mesh overlaid the original object. Okay, so there you got one single mesh. The meshing is nice. It looks nice and clean to me. There's not a lot of noise. And you end up on one object instead of, I can't even remember what was in here, it was a heap of them, 55 poly surfaces. So you end up back at one mesh, nice and clean, nice and fast. All right, guys, cheers.